Some people claim that the atrocities we commit in our fiction are those inner desires which we cannot commit in our controlled civilization. So they are expressed instead through our art. I don't agree. I believe heaven and hell are one and the same. The soul belongs to heaven and the body to hell.
Welcome back to the Blasphemous Cinema Podcast. I'm your host, Jake, and with me today is, of course, my trustworthy co-host, Addison. How are we doing today, Addison?
I'm good. How are you?
We're doing good. We're here for a pretty spicy double feature.
Yeah.
Your recommended Jonathan Glazer glazing double feature of Under the Skin and The Zone of Interest. Two kind of different points in Jonathan Glazer's career, and
10 years apart.
Two fantastic films.
Yeah.
One deals with an alien played by Scarlett Johansson, kind of roaming around looking for prey, which happens to be men. Then the other one is also like depicts one of the most darkest things in all of history, which is the Holocaust and a commandant of Auschwitz and his family life. So, you have seen both of these, correct? Going in. So, give me your kind of your reasoning of why you wanted to do these films for the podcast and your relationship with them so far.
Well, I think they both qualify as disturbing cinema, and I think they're more or less in the artsy side of disturbing cinema, and they're also like his two most recent films, but they also have a decade between them, 2013 and then 2023, which is interesting. The first time I saw Under the Skin was actually because I bought the Blu-ray. It was a blind buy at Best Buy when I was like probably in 2015. So yeah, probably 10 years ago. I blind bought it just because it had A24 logo on it, and that was when they had just started out. That was during the time of like Green Room and all that, and I was just buying anything with A24 on it because I think The Witch also. I got that, and yeah, I remember watching it and just being like, I have no idea what this is, but I think it's incredible. It's yeah, I just thought Under Skin was incredible, and so I kind of forgot about Jonathan Glazer though, because I mean he disappeared, and then I remember, I guess last year, even though it came out in 2023, last year was really when The Zone of Interest was kind of blowing up a little bit, and then I just remember people talking about how it was a new Jonathan Glazer movie that was coming out, and I was like, oh, that's the dude who did Under the Skin. So of course I watched it, and I was just like, oh, this is wildly different than what I thought he was going to make, because I've seen Sexy Beast, I've seen Birth, and then Under the Skin. All three of those are pretty interesting, and I can kind of see a through line through those, but then Zone of Interest just seems like he just had something else on his mind that was,
and that's why I kind of said it does feel like, even though it is his next film after Under the Skin, it does feel like it's two different points in his career with that decade of being apart, and it just feels like a more, like, I think Under the Skin is a mature film, but I do feel like it almost feels like a more mature filmmaker returning to make Zone of Interest, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty insane to go from that, and I also think he is the closest thing we have to Kubrick today. Like, I genuinely think, like, if you watch Birth and if you watch Under the Skin, I mean, you cannot tell me the intro to Under the Skin does not feel like 2001: A Space Odyssey. Like, with the orbs and everything floating around perfectly, and then Birth feels like something Kubrick would have made between Lolita and Eyes Wide Shut. Like, that is literally...
I haven't seen Birth. Is it good?
Oh, it's incredible. I don't understand anyone that doesn't like Birth. I mean, as soon as I was watching that, I was like, oh, this guy's just had it since day one. He's just a master. Like, it literally feels like the most Kubrickian film that Kubrick never made.
Ooh.
Yeah, like that's Birth is that good, and it's gonna get a Criterion release also. So
Yes, I saw that. Yeah.
that's
Um,
good stuff. And
so I'll have to lock in for that then.
yeah, they just need to put Under the Skin on Criterion though, so I can cop that.
Mhm.
But
Um,
yeah, I think Glazer's just a talent to be reckoned with. I don't think he's a. I think he's already a master of his craft, and he only has 4 feature films.
yeah,
Kind of just like, I mean, he can do whatever he wants.
and like that statement is rings true automatically just after I got out of these two films, just by off the fact of like he knows how to use every aspect of filmmaking:
Yeah,
sound, visuals, editing. He understands and he is how each part is going to orchestrate the product and creation that he wants.
yeah,
And
I
he
completely agree.
so I totally agree with that statement, even only seeing two films of his. Me personally, I've
Under the Skin could legitimately be a silent film.
yeah, absolutely.
Like the visual storytelling is off the charts of how good it
Mhm.
is. And I think the
Yeah,
Zone of Interest, you could probably make a case for it being closer. I mean, it could be a silent film, but it has a little more dialogue stuff, but he's just
yeah.
that good visually. I think Under the Skin is perfect. And I think
Um,
Zone of Interest is pretty damn close to being perfect, but they're just so good.
yeah. For me, I have had Under the Skin on Blu-ray for years. It has been sitting on my shelf for years. I had like it's always been one. It's on my watch list. So just one day I'm gonna watch it. Then you finally gave me the excuse and to finally put it in and watch it. And Zone of Interest was also one where I was like, I was really interested in it, but I didn't end up watching it for one way or another.
I knew that's all I
And
had to do. I just had to give you an excuse.
yeah, you know it's how it is sometimes. Um, so yeah, we're gonna we'll talk about Under the Skin first. Um, I there's gonna be like towards the end of the podcast, there's gonna be a quote that I found really fascinating that ended up kind of being a pretty um, incredible through line for both of the films in
Hmm.
terms of like it ended up being. I already think it's a good double feature, but there's something that I kind of necessarily didn't think of until someone had pointed it out, and I was like, wow, yeah, this was a great pairing. So kudos to you for putting it together and getting us to do this shit. Definitely a
I just
better
think
pair.
it's fascinating because what other filmmaker other than like James Cameron can you watch two movies back to back that are his two most recent that have a decade between them?
I have no idea.
Like, I mean, Avatar, Big Water, and then Zone of Interest and
Yeah,
Under the Skin. I don't really think of anyone else that comes to mind that has a decade between their most recent stuff. That's what's interesting to me. Have you seen a short film? Glazer made a short film between these two
what is it?
called The Fall.
I have not seen.
I think you would love it. It's really
Okay,
interesting. I think it's only like 6 minutes long, but it's like about mob mentality.
okay.
Again, kind of a political little short film, but it's like that's why I think the he kind of went into that space after Under the
Mhm.
Skin.
Yeah, and I think there's so many like whether they're well made or not, there's a lot of World War II movies and like the political spectrum that are made, and a lot of them kind of just, you know, fall under the same umbrella and, you know, they don't really differentiate themselves too much. And that's why I am thankful that Jonathan Glazer was able to take that route of, discussing the Holocaust, World War II, and some of the politics of it while having something to say and differentiating itself from others.
Yeah, I agree. Because I mean, that's also it's a really tight rope to walk, especially with war films, and then especially with stuff like genocides and atrocities.
Yeah.
It's so easy to exploit that stuff as a filmmaker, and most of them do. but then you come across somebody like Glazer every once in a while who actually knows how to make a story about something without exploiting it or, you know, manipulating it.
Yeah, for sure. Um, so let's get into Under the Skin.
Let's do it.
We've kind of already introduced this a little bit, but Scarlett Johansson plays a alien who's in human, you know, disguise, and she's, you know,
Skin.
yeah, under the skin, and we're we're for the good chunk of this first portion, we're following her just like going about England or wherever place they are. Oh, it was in the Scottish Highlands, wasn't it? Like
I think
in
so.
Scotland, yeah.
Yeah.
So she's in Scotland, and she's in a van, and she's driving by herself on these roads and looking for men to prey on. And there's like you can you understand after a couple of interactions what like kind of like her criteria in her head is, kind of like what she's looking for to get the men in the van, then abduct them and
Yeah.
kill them.
It's so fascinating, especially if I don't know if you've actually read the novel that this is
I have
based on.
not. Have you?
Yeah, I read it and it's just really interesting the way he adapted it because he cut out almost all context. Like the entirety of the context of the novel is cut out and he just leaves you with the action that she's doing on Earth.
Uh
She's a species that is basically harvesting humans to feed to like the social elite of her
okay.
species, but they're also like weird canine-like species that have their hair and stuff pulled and plucked, and then her body is molded to be fit into the skin to be like a human.
Okay.
But that's like the context. But it's like he just read that and he was just like, "What if I just focus on just the aspect of like a creature that's just harvesting
She's
humans?"
just yeah, she's just an alien, and we don't really have the backstory of what she is or where she is or why she is.
And I think it works better that way because that whole thing, the intro, it's like he's trying to cement the audience as not just a viewer, but being like metacontextually in the movie, how the whole intro of the circle and everything come together as an eyeball.
Yeah,
So
dude.
like from the
I
start of it, you're
Yeah,
like in going through seeing something that you're seeing.
yeah, and that entire time, that beginning sequence, I'm like, I'm just watching and as to where we're going. Then I kind of piece it together in my head of where we're going, and we see the eyeball, and I was like, incredible,
Yeah.
awesome stuff. Do you? I mean, do you like the novel?
I mean, it's all right. I don't really
Okay,
remember
so
much of it. I read it when like back in college when I found this movie because
okay.
I thought it was going to be like one to one kind of thing, like the
Uh,
Dune movie where it's like just slight adaptation. But then I realized he like changed almost all of it and just cut out a lot of the stuff he didn't like, I guess, or just didn't
okay,
care about.
okay,
But it is. I don't know if you know the trivia behind Under the Skin, but they used a lot of non actors and a lot of
okay.
like regular footage of just Scarlett Johansson walking around places without telling anybody they were filming.
Oh, I
Like
like
when she's
that.
in the mall and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Like that's not a set. They're actually just walking around the mall, and you can tell some people are noticing her.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And you can tell, but you can't tell if people
No,
are noticing
yeah,
her because of Scarlett Johansson or because of the way she
yes.
looks.
Yes. I noticed that part where like there was a couple times where yeah, people are noticing her, and um the fact that they kind of didn't tell people that they were filming this thing is pretty damn incredible.
Yeah, he would just do like Impractical Joker style, Jackass style, like hidden cameras. Like the van has hidden cameras in it. That's what some of
Yes.
the angles are.
Yeah.
They even hid a camera, I think, in the radio. Like they were like they actually they
Yeah.
special built the radio and special built a camera to fit in there. And then yeah, they would just follow her around like the mall and just walking around downtown and stuff.
I have a quick question about the mall sequence. So there's a point where I think she gets off the escalator, and like almost like in front of her, like there's an overlay of static.
Hmm.
I don't do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I was very interested in what your opinions of that was, because I kind of didn't initially I saw that, I'm like, okay, this is going to be a reoccurring motif. It only happens, I think, once more,
Mm-hmm.
and I kind of didn't know where to take my thoughts in terms of that aspect.
Well, my thing is I don't know if it's an artifact of them filming it digitally, like a digital
Oh,
artifact that happens with some of the lighting and stuff, and
okay.
then Glazer just saw it and just thought it was interesting and probably overlaid it on top of another image,
Yeah.
or if it was something that he put in post and it seemed like it was something that was used whenever she started thinking about humanity.
Okay.
Like
Ooh,
it's kind of
I like that. I like
like it's
that.
kind of like like it's kind of like a transparent like barrier between her where it's like she wants to
Yeah.
be she's getting accustomed to being a part of these people but she's actually separated like she's not actually a part of humanity
Uh,
even though she
yeah,
wants to be because I feel like that's the whole thing with Under the Skin is that it's ultimately a movie about identity
it is.
and it's ultimately about her being like I kind of like being here like she's kind
Mhm.
of just getting more and more attached to her prey
Yes.
like that's kind of the way I see it. So I don't know if it's a creative choice or if it's just a digital
Like
art.
a happenstance that, yeah, just
Yeah,
happened that
and
way.
it could have been both. I mean, it could have
Yeah.
been a creative choice that happened because of the digital artifact. You know, who
Yeah.
knows?
That I'm glad that we had a discussion about that because that was something that was in my head ruminating throughout because since it was that beginning one, then the second one.
Yeah, 'cause
Off
I think it
bat,
happens the second time when all the pictures start fading in and out together, right? And it's like all the faces of humans and stuff going over each other.
yes. I felt like there was like um there was one as she was like entering um a building, like one of the like her hideouts essentially that I think
That
it
abandoned
happened around,
building.
yeah, I think it may have happened around then. I
Yeah,
could be misremembering, but that's where I think I remember it happened.
yeah, because I think that's also when she's starting to break her
She
cycle.
looks in the mirror for that long
Yeah,
period of time. Yeah. Um, immediately off bat, this is going to be a through line for both films, but sound design and visuals are just hitting to the max.
yeah.
Um, I immediately noticed like the sound design and like kind of just like how purposeful and intentful it was when she she's in that other space with the girl that she's taken the clothes from,
Mm-hmm.
and you hear her like the heels on the ground, and we kind of really haven't heard a lot of the other stuff yet, and I was like, okay, yeah, I
Yeah,
like that a lot.
Glazer's really good about sound design and score because I mean the score for Under the Skin is
Oh,
also just
it's super eerie and creepy,
oh
but
I
it's
love
also but it's minimalist as hell,
it. Hmm.
and that's also like another great aspect of it is just like because of how minimalist it is, it gets, no pun, I mean pun intended, I guess, gets under your skin a little bit. So yeah, um
I
I,
genuinely didn't realize how much I have probably stolen from this movie for Paranoia Critical until I rewatched it and I was like, oh, so this is kind
this
of
is where it's been existing in my head.
yeah,
This-
like I always wondered what the inspiration and like the origin of my sound was, and I guess I never realized it was all the way back in like
that's a,
2015
that's an awesome thing.
before I even started making music. And
uh
then it's like not until I rewatched it was I like, oh, I remember how much I love this score, and this is probably what I've been trying to capture ever since.
I love when shit like that happens creatively where like you don't realize the influence that's been having on you, and then at some point it just clicks in and you're like, oh,
Yeah,
that's where that was from.
that's the dragon I've been chasing.
Yeah. But like when she's in that other space, I loved the visual of the girl. She's crying, but she's in that like comatose state essentially, and
Yeah,
she's crying awesome stuff.
just the one tier.
Yeah. Um so kind of touched on the faint static overlay, the minimalistic score. Um the first time that she abducts a guy essentially, I love the cut of them, like him getting in and that happening, then the cut of him no longer being in the seat.
Yeah,
and super effective. We know what happens, and it's just as effective as we see what actually does happen. And I think that's a true testament to a good filmmaker to make both as effective as one another.
I love the whole seduction trap too, of her just walking and then
Yeah,
they follow and then they slowly just start going into the floor.
yeah,
Like I just love that. It's like a Venus flytrap, but in like slow
it
motion.
is. Yes, absolutely. Um, and like with that girl, I love like pretty much just a complete white, and then with the seduction trap, it's completely black, and then it's them, and then it turns into like the liquid black. That's the kind of all we see.
It's like a gelatin, but it's like
Yeah.
slowly dissolving them, which is just insane.
Um, one of the most unsettling sequences in this movie is the beach.
Yeah.
So like she sees the swimmer guy, and she goes to him, and then we realize that a mother is swimming out to try and save their dog. Tides are terrible. What like we need to ask why this family was there in the first place.
And I'm sure there was some undertow.
Yeah, I'm like,
Take it
what?
even further.
This isn't safe.
No.
Get your dog out of the water. What are we doing? Um, then the guy goes in after her, and then the husband goes too, and basically they all fall victim to the tides and the undertow. And she pulls out the guy. She pulls out the swimmer, and we just get this. We get you see the kid, the kid that was left by the parents due to this accident, and she's just wailing. Scarjo like literally has no emotion or reaction to it. And it just like it really cements that at this point, like, she has no regard for humanity as a whole. And it's just like, I think that's such a pivotal scene in terms of the through line for her character.
Yeah, she just sees us as food at that point.
Yeah.
Like there's no care or compassion at that moment.
Hmm. Um,
And I don't think it's also because I don't think it's just care and compassion, but I also think it's also ignorance.
yeah, for
Like
sure.
she's just been dropped on this planet and she genuinely does not understand a lot of stuff. Like
Hmm.
I don't even know if they have children on this other planet that they're
Yeah,
of.
that's a fair point.
Like I don't know if she understands what that is.
Yeah,
Because a part
what's
of it
going
seems
on?
like she
Yeah,
doesn't really click some of the stuff.
yeah. Um,
It's interesting though, just to see that child just like crying and sitting on the beach, and she just walks away, and it's like,
mhm.
oh wow, that's
Yeah,
insane.
I was just like, oh, tough.
Tough.
So during these like the seduction traps, um, when you actually see the victims, like in like the gelatin or in that like basically like the space where like yeah, I guess the best thing to describe it is like it looks like a visual. They're stuck visually in gelatin. Um, they turn into like a skin cloth. Crazy.
It is crazy.
Seeing that transpire was like, wow, that's I love that, that difference of, different alien stories and just what they do to humans. I basically suck them all out, and it's just like the skin cloth left behind, and it's
It
just
looks
like,
like an implosion, and they
yeah,
just feathers.
and it's just floating there in the gelatin like substance.
And you see that tray thing. It's
Yeah,
crazy
the,
shot of just like the tray that's just taking the meat.
the tray that's taking the blood, the guts, the innards, and yeah, that was super sick.
It's so heavy metal. It's like, what is
Yes,
happening?
yeah. Um, one of my favorite. So after that, um, one of my well, probably my favorite line in the movie, um, when she abducts a guy, one of the guys says something about your eyes. So good.
It's like the eyes of Jaws, like the
Hmm.
shark from Jaws. It's literally what it is. Like a black
Yeah.
eye is like a doll's eyes. That whole thing
Yeah.
they talk about in Jaws, that's exactly what it reminds me of.
Yeah. Something about your eyes, and it's just like, the movie starts off with the eyes, and after that, like I couldn't like stop like looking at the eyes of Scarlett Johansson's Alien.
Hmm.
Um, so
There's also what's the guy's name? Her handler?
I don't have no idea what. I don't think he has a name.
Like I think he has a name in the credits, but I don't know if they actually
Okay.
say it. But it's some weird name. But that dude is such a good actor too, and I think he's also one of those weird trivia facts where they just found him for this movie. And I know the guy in the woods, the woodsman was also a guy they just found for this movie.
Yeah, they very much feel like the people that they are portraying.
Like I think the dude who was the handler guy was a guy who just like did stunts in motorcycle driving and then just didn't really do anything else.
That rocks.
Yeah, he's only in Under the Skin.
Awesome. He feels like a motorcycle guy through and through, and obviously that's true. And then the trucker guy, um, he feels exactly like a a logger,
Yeah.
like a modern day logger who's transporting logs and shit. Um,
Well, I know the dude towards the end, they had to convince him about the scenes and stuff he was doing because he was so
yeah, I
uncomfortable.
mean it's pretty tough, like because it does take a lot of guts as a normal person to want to do like, yeah, we have an idea for you. You're kind of gonna be a rapist.
Yeah.
It's just like I don't know about that, man. Um, that the first scene that you see him where he's talking to ScarJo is very, I mean, for a lack of a better term, I guess unsettling. Like you
Yeah.
know exactly what his goal is, and like the delivery, the demeanor, everything is cementing towards that his goal and his evil act that he wants to enact. Um,
I think that's the
super.
crazy part about it is how much it like. I guess we can track it from the guy from A Different Man. I can't remember his name. The guy.
Adam Pearson.
Yes. I guess you can really track everything that happens in the latter half of the movie from her encounter with him
Hmm.
because that was when she starts getting compassion.
Yeah,
I
she.
mean,
I. It was funny. Like she's like looking at Adam Pearson's character, and I'm like, I can see he's trying to hide his face. Then I realized like, oh shit, that's the guy from A Different Man. I haven't seen A Different Man, but I was like, holy shit, that's awesome that he's in this movie. Um, he plays the role excellent. You can tell that she's starting to develop that compassion
yeah.
throughout that entire sequence.
You should watch him in A Different Man. He's incredible in that also.
I've heard he's awesome in that. Um, so yeah, I and it's after that that she lets him go.
Yeah, and it's crazy because I think that's the first time that she feels for someone that's human,
Hmm.
and then she kind of actually has the thought where she's like, "I guess I don't have to kill you."
Yeah, it's I don't have to do this.
But then the handler basically just finds out immediately that he has been set free
Yeah,
and tracks him down. He doesn't get very far,
no, no.
and that's
Um,
really where the rest of the movie kind of the turning point.
yes. I wanted to talk about two shots that were kind of in the later half of the film. The one shot of like the mist on the water in that whirlwind,
Yeah,
awesome shot. Then also too, um, ScarJo's character walking through the fog, but like her skin is blending to the fog almost.
yeah.
Dude, that was an incredible shot. I loved what they did with that.
I love the
Um,
cinematography of this movie.
yeah, it's unbelievable. It's so good. and especially what the film ends off with.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she from refamiliarize me with how she meets the final person that
Well,
she
the
doesn't kill.
first dude.
Yeah, like the dude that like she becomes normal with.
Yeah, she tries to basically fake like play house with this guy.
Yeah,
And then they start getting intimate and get attached, and then she finds out that she does not
she
have
doesn't have the same reproductive organs that are
no,
needed to. Yeah,
which is an
um,
incredible scene.
so so good, and it's like, and because of her character and the way that she's built, like wired at that point, like this is like kind of like the first time like she understands like embarrassment
Yeah,
and like wanting to seclude yourself from your embarrassment and just wanting to go into isolation of what just happened to you. Um, and that ultimately leads to, she's just wandering through a forest and she comes across this logger guy.
I guess we're a
And
hunter. I mean, I really don't know
yeah,
what
but I
he
mean,
is.
he was like driving like a logging truck.
Yeah, it's just like the
Like,
neon jacket, I guess.
yeah. Um,
I don't know exactly if he does that in his pastime or not.
like so she's just like kind of walking on and like he kind of stops her to like give her these like, oh, it's pretty muddy up there, but he keeps on going on and on and on, and he's trying to get her to talk, but he's not having success. She finds a random rest stop. Essentially, I this is crazy, like walkers just being able to sit in this shelter place. I've never seen one in person.
Well, that's why I think it was like the hunter area because I'm pretty sure that's a hunter's
But
like
it said for hikers too.
yeah, for like hikers.
Yeah.
Like it's basically like a nature reserve kind of rest stop.
Yeah, where like they could, yeah, like stop in and warm up and sit out stuff. I was like, that's cool. I've never seen one of those in my life. That's pretty awesome. Um, but she gets awoken by him trying to assault her, and she runs out into the woods, and he stops at a certain point because he realized that what's under her skin again.
Well, he keeps trying to grab her and pull her as she's
Yeah,
running away, and he rips off her back. And so, which is a crazy shot when
and
you
it's
just
just,
see
yeah,
her skin and it's just the
it's
black.
just black. Yeah,
And that's like that leads to one of my favorite shots is her taking like when she kneels down the ground and she takes her skin off and she's holding her face, looking at it like
yes, yeah,
Hamlet style, like with the
yeah.
skull. I was like, oh, that's a good shot.
It's such a good shot. I love that sequence just as a whole of her taking it off and then like seeing what the actual alien looks like.
hmm
I I think it I think it's an awesome design. Um,
It's
and
incredible.
and there's you can tell even by the alien, you understand what it's feeling by the context clues of what Scarjo's character has gone through at that point.
hmm
So like as it's looking at its artificial skin and the now found humanity and basically all these new emotions that it now has, even though the alien's facial expression is completely blank, essentially, you understand exactly what it's going through and what it's thinking in that exact moment.
Yeah.
It's so brilliant. Um, that's that point where the guy comes back and pours gasoline on it and lights it on fire.
Yeah, which is just it's tragic just because I guess Glazer's the only person who could make a movie about a killer that's also an innocent.
Yeah, and there's just been like kind of like the theme of like having compassion for kind of filmmakers and just art in general, being able to portray compassion for monsters and just
Yeah.
like people who are have committed awful acts in society or whatever. And I think this Glazer does it perfectly here. Um, this the alien has killed several people up to this point, but now that you understand um, its life trajectory and what's gone through and where it's at now, you can't but help but feel bad, and it does feel tragic.
Yeah.
Um,
And I mean, that's what they call movies the empathy machine.
yeah,
I mean, it kind of, you're basically in someone else's shoes for a while, and that's what you're doing. You're walking around with ScarJo's alien for this whole time, and then you realize it's kind of like a full circle thing.
mhm,
Like, I'm sure the original person who was was it the handler that was harvesting, probably met a similar end
yeah,
where they got killed or dispatched of by someone because they don't really understand the world that they're in and they're just looking for harvest. And then ScarJo is now taking over that one's place, and then she gets dispatched of
yeah,
because it probably is a cycle for them as well, where they get attached to humanity and try and implement themselves in, and then they realize that they're not human.
mm,
Like it's a whole identity thing. It feels like.
yeah. I love that. So good. Um, and yeah, the final shots of kind of like the wide shot of the alien like kind of running down the slope as it's on fire. Great. Then the looking up and it's just the snow and kind of like the ash from
Mm-hmm.
the smoke and everything, and that's when the film ends. And what can I say? That was an awesome experience. Um, Immediate like gut reaction for me was a 4 out of 5. Might go higher down the road, but yeah, great film.
It's one of those where the more I rewatch it, the more I love it, and I've
Mhm.
already moved it up to 5 stars.
Yeah,
But it's one of those things where it's like every time I rewatch it, I just find something else that I like even more, and I feel like every time I rewatch it, I have a different kind of opinion on it a little bit. Like I
uh,
still know it's kind of like themes and stuff, but I'm saying I
yes,
feel differently every time I watch it. It seems like.
yeah. I mean, it's going to be an awesome rewatch. I know when I eventually get back to it. Um, I'm kind of pissed at myself for not getting to it, but also this was kind of the perfect time. You know, it
Yeah,
is what it is.
I'm glad
Um,
you finally watched it. I'm glad
yeah,
you liked it.
yeah. I'm glad that we've picked that, and I'm glad we also picked a zone of interest in which we'll now talk about that. Um, Rudolf Hoss,
Hoss.
Hoss, um, is a Nazi commandant of Auschwitz. I did not realize that this was gonna. I thought like almost that this was gonna just be like outside of like a just a regular concentration camp. I didn't realize it was gonna be Auschwitz for um,
Yeah.
and kind of like a lot of these films do. I didn't realize that his character, like yeah, his character actually existed. Like he's based on a
Mhm.
real person. Um, eh,
Apparently, he had been working on this script for a while. Glazer had, and he wanted it to be like extremely historically accurate and did a lot of research. And he said he showed it to multiple people, and all these people kept telling him, they're like, I don't know how we can make this because he was also writing the atrocities on the other end of the wall into the script.
yes,
And they're like, I don't think we can do this, dude. Like, we cannot make this. And he was like, no, we can. We're not going to show the other side of the wall. And they're like, what do you mean? And they're like, we're never going to show it. I just wrote in the script so you know sound
what's
design.
going? Yeah,
You know what's
what?
happening.
Yeah,
Like the
yeah,
guy getting drowned in the river, people fighting, like guy getting stabbed, guy getting pushed, guy getting shot. Like, stuff like that. But it's just in the background, but you never actually see it. But he
yeah.
was like, I just want it to be implied,
Hmm.
which is kind of, that was the light bulb moment for all the people, like his producers and everything that were reading the script. They're like, oh, I see what you're doing.
Yeah, and I can't remember who said it, but I this has stuck with me even before I saw the film. Someone had said this is two films, the one you see and the one you hear.
Yeah.
And the fact that this movie
There is
essentially
a whole script
there
on the other
is
side.
exactly like the fact that you can pull that off and at the level he pulls it off is unbelievable. It,
Yeah.
like if this ends up being like Glazer's like crowning achievement, like, I don't think you can feel bad about that at all. You know what I
No,
mean?
I don't think so either. I mean, it's such an accomplishment, and it's also just it's sad that it's not something that's just made for like historical accuracy, but it's something that's also made for relevancy.
Yes.
And that's the whole reason behind it. And he kind of pulled a heist with that also, with the producers and everything,
Yep.
because they did not think that he was making it for the reasons that he actually was making it.
Yes. Yes. Um, I mean, yeah, like that was the awesome thing. It was like one of the most selfless acts I have kind of seen in kind of um, in terms of filmmakers is him and the team winning all of these awards throughout the award circuit, and say their quick thanks, but then immediately donate all of their time to talking about what's going on in Palestine with the Palestinians and what's going on in Gaza and everything. Um, so much courage and such a commendable act of being a human and using your platform for the right things. Um, and I think I just think about the line from Blade Runner 2049 so much, where it's like the most human thing we can do is dying for the right cause. And even though like Jonathan Glazer necessarily didn't, obviously didn't die making this film or anything, but like
Yeah.
for what he decided to do with his platform and his creativity and his voice is such a commendable thing. And I don't think I'll ever forget that. You know what I
I
mean?
think that's the most important thing about it is that it's that idea of like if you the best way to show or to dissect something is to show like the juxtaposition of it.
Hmm.
And that's
Yeah.
exactly what he does.
Yeah.
Like he is a Jewish man making a movie about Nazis, but he doesn't actually show like it's not like Schindler's List where you see a person who is a companion of the Jews helping them out, and then you see how what he's dealing with the Nazis. You clearly are only with the Nazis,
Yeah.
except for all the infrared scenes, which I think is interesting that he shoots all the infrared scenes like they're a horror movie,
But
other
they're
other than the one scene where she's singing the
yeah.
song for the Jewish people.
Well, I also found that fascinating too. It's like the infrared scenes, they with the score is very haunting. Throughout
Yeah,
this entire film, when the score hits, it's going to be some of the most haunting music I've heard recently. Um, but it's portraying acts of kindness too.
yes,
You know, so damn intelligent.
yeah,
And like, yeah, you're giving me this haunting score. It's visually incomplete, the opposite of what we've seen in terms of the evil that we've been hearing and technically seeing. Then you get these infrared scenes and they're acts of kindness over, and the complete opposite is used to showcase them.
yeah. That's the interesting thing about it, and I think that's basically the language of his film, and that's what makes the whole experiment of him making this so interesting. Is that he's making the evilness the normalcy. Like that's what he's making normal. He's
Yes,
making the acts of kindness and rebellion as being the thing that's actually warped and distorted.
absolutely.
And I think he's making the comment, of course, on society as being like, why have we normalized this kind of
Evil.
behavior?
Yeah. And
Yeah,
like, and sitting put and accepting certain things, or just, I don't give a shit. So, and my life has nothing to do with this. I'll go about my life and, tend to my garden.
yeah. It's the banalness. Like it's the aspect that you ignoring something or you not doing something is just as complacent as you
Yes,
being in the act, basically.
exactly.
Yes.
Um,
And it's
and
interesting. I just love that whole idea of the way he just shoots all that and people still it's like it still goes over.
yes, and and I think like kind of now realizing where for me right in this moment, I'm glad like some of the films we've decided to talk about, and especially some of the filmmakers like Haneke and Glazer now, is these filmmakers portraying that exact theme of just complacency in the world of awful things and awful acts of corruption, evil, whatever. Um, I've I realized that through line just right here immediately, and um, it's also like it goes hand in hand with these filmmakers are some of the most in control filmmakers we've talked about on this podcast and have probably seen in our filmmaking journeys.
Yep.
Not film viewing journeys and filmmaking journeys, whatever you want to say. But yes, think that's an incredible thing
Yes.
and makes me appreciate them even more.
And I think that there's an interesting quote that I have, and it's
Okay.
not from it has nothing to do with the movie or anything,
Yeah.
but it's a quote that I think is interesting, and it comes from someone named Trixie Mattel. I don't know if you know who Trixie Mattel is.
I feel like I've heard of the name before.
It's a drag queen,
Yeah.
but she was on, I guess an interview or talk show or something. But she was talking about when she's Trixie Mattel, she was talking about how, I believe that everyone should be taken care of and have health care, and I think murder is wrong. But apparently that's radical.
Yeah.
You know, like that's such an
That's
interesting
such a
quote.
like a base level thing that everyone should agree on.
Yes, and I think it's such an interesting quote because I think it directly correlates with stuff like the zone of interest,
Yeah.
where it's like, why is this something that is seen as radical when it really shouldn't be seen as radical? You know what I mean?
Why, yeah, why to these people, these SS officers, the most normal thing about their day is talking about how they're going to kill 70,000 or hundreds of thousands more Jews.
Yeah.
That's the one of the most normal aspects of their day, and they talk about it like it's nothing.
Or like when he's at the gala or the ball towards the end of the movie, and he was talking about I didn't do much. I just sat there and thought about how I would gas the room. The craziest line ever.
It's so crazy. Um,
But that's the normalcy.
yes, exactly. That there's and no matter who like it's crazy because there's no matter technically who it is in this family, almost even the kids who have all of their innocence still intact are still laid victim to this normalcy and this
Hmm.
way of living. And it's so crazy to try and rack your head around that. Um
I think it's the nature versus nurture thing
yeah, yeah, for
because
sure.
even though these kids aren't directly exposed to anything on the other side of the wall, you can see the implications of them being close to it.
Mhm.
Like you can see a difference between the kids under the Haas family household and then the Jewish kids.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like you can, and even the mom of Haas's wife when she comes and stays, like even she sits there and is kind of just like, this is horrible. Like you
Yeah.
can see it on her face where that's why she leaves.
Yes.
Like she can't even like she's on their side technically, but she can't even understand how
She,
they live next door to that.
yeah, and it's not like they're a mile away or anything. No, they're literally right next to it.
Like they can see the fires.
They can see the raging fires of thousands of people burning.
And they literally have like the one of the most horrific shots is the kids playing in the river and then the ashes and
Oh,
bones get
dude.
dumped in the
I
river.
I legitimately couldn't believe what my eyes were watching at that point. Cuz you just see like the little bit of the color change of the
Yeah.
water, then you realize, "Oh shit. This is all this is ash." Then it envelops Haas's character, then he picks up the jaw
Yeah.
to like holy shit. Like it just like heart kind of just sunk and it just like it just doesn't it like all time worst feeling.
And then you have the SS officers bringing the clothes of the dead Jews to the people living around the camp and letting them
As
pick
new
what they want to keep, like
yeah,
the fur coat and all that.
yeah,
Like it's horrible.
yeah. Um I kind of want to get into kind of some of the notes and throughout that I was as I was watching this. I love how, so not like the where they're swimming, but when they're back at the house, I loved how strategic the series of shots were in the backyard when they're looking at the gift the gift of the boat, because like the first couple shots of the family, you don't see anything in the background. Like it's all pleasant. Then strategically, the final two shots of them in the background, like it slowly works its way up to being worse and worse.
Mm-hmm.
Like you see, like okay, there's a different type of wall and there's some barbed wire. Then you see the buildings of Auschwitz and the fires in the distance in the final shot. Such a phenomenal series and shot of shots, and how that, you know, thematically is a act of storytelling.
Yeah, and all
Visually,
that was done in post, which is also crazy. This movie has some of the most visual effect shots of 2023, and you would never know it.
yeah.
Like it has like almost as much digital effect shots as like a Godzilla movie or something. Just
Yeah.
because of how much they're putting in the background. Like the whole time they shot with that wall, it would just be a blue screen behind that wall.
Yes, yeah. Yeah.
And then so they would just be able to just put what they needed to back there, like either the smokestacks or towers or buildings or what have you.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy to me how much thought and everything was put into it, just from a technical aspect also, and the story beats and everything.
Yeah. Um as we've kind of mentioned, it's like, yeah, like you get birthday celebrations with gunfire ringing out in the distance. Um it it doesn't make it like, it never gets easy seeing a young person like 10 or even younger wearing a Nazi uniform.
No.
That is visually one of the most appalling things you could ever see, and it never gets easier.
Absolutely.
Um, Raging fires in the distance of the yard. I do like how, like, when they're in like the garden and stuff like that, you're either kind of seeing smoke billowing in the air, or like actual fires. Um, and you know, obviously, if like it's more smoke, the act has already kind of been done, and you know, the fires are actually like in the process. I think, you know, that's an awesome piece of little bit of storytelling, just by what, you know, it's a sign to put there, rather than it always being smoke or always being fire.
Yeah, and them talking about the stench also. Like when the mom first gets there, she's like, "That the smell. Like, how do you get used to the smell?" And it's like they just live next to it so long they don't
They
even.
didn't notice it anymore.
Yeah, just the smell of just death.
Yeah. Just being like the thought of just being able to have like when the Haas and his wife are in bed and they're having like these very lively conversations. Just like the thought of having these lively conversations with when there's so much death in the air through sound is like so hard to wrap my head around. You know,
Yeah,
it.
it is, and it's weird because like a part of me doesn't know if saying that they're just brainwashed and they just go about their day because they're just like, oh, it's a job, like this is my daily life. I feel like a part of me feels like that's giving them too much credit and not enough consequence.
Mhm.
Because it's like, I guess, like,
I feel like it
everyone was
definitely
just doing
is a
what they
part.
were told, but at
Yeah.
the same time, it's like you kind of do. You feel like you would know.
No, and they absolutely do know. I do think like with the mother character, she got so used to it that she's just trying to operate as a mother.
Yeah, it's like they want to build a normal life. Like she always talks about, it's like we finally got the house we wanted. We finally got the garden. It's like,
And that conversation's insane too, because like, oh, we finally found the life we've wanted. And the life you've wanted is a house literally next to hundreds of thousand people being tortured and slaughtered and dying every single day.
yeah, it's like that old tale of like the Faustian bargain. Like you got everything you wanted, but you're still in hell. Like you made the
Yeah,
deal with Satan, literally.
yeah,
Like, was it worth it? Kind of
yeah.
thing.
Um, at there was one point where I almost thought that we were going to see some things happen, and it's a shot of Haas that's a close up, like down at his side, and like you can tell he's actively at the site of Auschwitz.
Yeah. You talking about
Um,
the low angle aiming
yeah,
upwards? Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and like there's so much happening in that scene that you don't see, but some of the most like haunting aspects of that image is like the ash like stain on his face.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh shit, yeah, that's yeah,
Yeah. And it's like you said, the secondary script, how it's two movies. There's literally a scene that you hear from the other side of the wall where a Jewish man is getting drowned
yep,
for, I think, like taking an apple or
yep,
stealing an apple or something, that you just want to eat an
yeah.
apple. And I think or I think he got in a fight with another Jewish man or something over an
Yes,
apple.
they got into a fight over the apple.
And
Yes,
they shot one of them and then drowned the other.
yeah,
And you hear the whole thing.
yeah, and this is while there's laundry being done and like there's just chores being done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Insanity.
Um, one of the most um disgusting parts of this entire movie where I just felt so actively disgusted was when the mother and her mom were lounging and they made jokes of her being the queen of Auschwitz.
Yeah.
I was so
Because her husband
disgusted.
is the commandment of it.
I was so disgusted, man.
Yeah, it's like they see it as that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if it's giving them too much credit by just saying they're just doing what they're told, but it's like they see it not just as a job, but as like something is that,
Like
like,
almost like a novelty.
like an honor.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know how much of this is brainwashing and how much of it is actually them genuinely thinking that. But at the same time, it's like, does it matter at that point?
Yeah.
Not really.
No. Um I just noticed how, throughout, I get towards the end of the film and I never once was felt comfortable with the gunshots in the background. At no single point did those gunshots fail to get under my skin.
And the constant like singeing, like burning noise, and then you have the thing that always got me with the gunshots and stuff is the constant low screams and stuff that you would hear.
Yeah.
Like I don't think it ever stops until he is in the other where he's
Yeah.
traveling when he's
Yeah.
not at home. But I
When
think other
they're
than that, the entire movie you have some sort of scream or yelling in the background. And it's just like I think the second time I watched this, not the third time, but I think the second time I watched it with headphones, and it
oh man.
genuinely, yeah, it genuinely gets overwhelming because I had those studio headphones like that, and it's the 3D audio, and I mean the whole time I'm sitting there just like, oh my
And
god,
it's just like overbearing.
yeah, it
That,
gets to a
that
point where it's like
that's
you are
real
doing,
auditory anguish. I
yeah,
mean that's yeah,
it's punishing,
yeah. Um but not to them.
like,
Yeah. We kind of already talked about it. It's just like I just loved how the acts of kindness and the acts of good in this world are visually and audibly um haunting when
yes,
yeah.
and I think that was done intentionally for sure.
Yes, yes.
And I think we do need to talk about the two major scenes, and I think I think they're the cornerstone, or I guess like the pinnacle of what the whole movie is trying to say. Like we
Yeah,
talk about this duality of juxtaposition. Like the one scene you talk about, the hallway scene.
yeah,
I
so
feel
like
like
that's what I wanted to get into next.
that
Um
scene and then the piano scene. I feel like go
yeah.
hand in hand for opposite reasons.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about the piano scene real quick. Um Essentially the entire time we're seeing this girl go out of her way to um, do kind and good things in this world of evil. It's in infrared, and she finds a song in a container by one of the workers' clothes.
Yeah.
Shovels. And it's not until that we get the song and she starts playing the song that she's finally out of the infrared.
Yeah, which I guess that's the thing I was saying is like it goes hand in hand with the hallway scene because the only time with the German stuff they ever cut away is the hallway scene where you see something other than their point of view. And the only
Yeah.
time she's not filmed in infrared is the song.
Yeah.
And I feel like it goes with the thing that you were talking about where I guess what you wanted to get into was how evil can transcend time just as much as love. And I feel like that is what each of those is. The piano is love transcending
And
time.
just song music and like yes.
Like the song is recorded and
Yeah.
we still have it today to be in the movie. So it has lasted the test of time. And then you have the opposite end of that, which is the cutaway hallway scene where you see the museum of Auschwitz and all the damage and I guess like the leftovers of what had happened with
Yeah.
like the clothes and the shoes and everything. And it's like both of them have transcended time for massively different reasons.
Yes. Kind of going into that final bit of like the last 10 minutes. Um Honestly, the movie was pretty it was flying by for me. And I didn't realize that we were going to be right at the end. And I was telling you this before we got on the call. I've seen people talk about the hallway shot, and I've seen the hallway shot before. And so he's coming down the stairs, and you see him look down the hallway. I'm like, okay, oh, this is the shot. Then it cuts, and we get a couple minutes of current day Auschwitz and people cleaning throughout the facility. We see um, the inside of the living quarters and gas chambers. Um, we get a whole window of briefcases, like a whole long window hallway of briefcases. Then we get a whole section dedicated to kids' shoes. And there's a lot.
Yeah, all stacked on top of each other.
And then you get the other hallway shot, which very emotionally overbearing. Um, both sides of this hallway are glass cases and what you can thousands of shoes, thousands, and
Those are the only ones that are recovered.
yeah,
So there's even more than
yeah,
that.
no, exactly. And then you get the other hallway shot of basically the photos of the victims. Then it cuts back to the hallway shot of the commandant in the hallway. And I
Yeah.
told you this. I audibly said, "Holy fuck!"
It's one of the hardest cuts ever because it feels, in that moment, you feel like he felt a reverberation through time. Like the way
Yes, like a
comes in.
premonition through time.
Yes.
And I was kind of sitting with it, and I showed I rewinded it, and I showed my roommate the ending, and I'm just like actively trying to piece together what Glazer's trying to say, and it's like immediately like yes, he's seeing like a or feeling a premonition in the to what happens in the future. But then I'm kind of coming to this thematic of understanding of people saying one of the things that transcends time, no matter how long of a gap, is love always transcends time. And Glazer, to showcase that such an atrocious act of evil in this world also has the ability to transcend time, is
Yes.
one of the most astonishing things I've ever seen achieved in movies, in cinema
Yeah.
as a whole. I couldn't believe what had just transpired in front of me in that final shot.
I agree. I mean, that's exactly how it feels, honestly. Like it feels like the act of Auschwitz and honestly just the Holocaust in general created such a massive rip in space-time that it reverberated. Like, it kind of broke the film for a second. Like, that's what that feels like.
Yeah. Did you have any other like kind of notes about Zone of Interest before I get into this one quote that kind of ties back both films?
Honestly, I don't know. I feel like we've honestly covered everything. I mean, it's a heavy and punishing piece of cinema, but honestly, I feel like it's one of those things that everyone should probably
Yes,
watch. I mean, it might not be, some people might not be able to stomach it just because the implications and everything, but that's why I think it completely counts as disturbing cinema.
it absolutely
Even
does.
though it's PG-13, which is insane to me.
Yeah.
This is a PG-13 movie. But honestly, good on him for making it PG-13 because that means you can show it in high school.
Yeah. And I like this should be like a modern day film that should be shown in high school.
Yeah.
I think I mean in school I didn't watch, but I was like informed to watch Schindler's List,
Mm-hmm.
which I did. But I do think like this Zone of Interest should absolutely be something to drill in the minds of people and young people about everything about what this experience is trying to say.
Oh, yeah.
Um, we as a society would be better off if that was normal.
Yes. I agree.
Um, so
Understanding and empathy.
yes. Um, so there's a critic named Scott Tobias who's also on Letterboxd, and I was going through reviews and just what people are saying about Zone of Interest after, and he had a quote that connected both this and Under the Skin together, and I thought that was just awesome how I'm doing this double feature and I'm not even looking for like a connecting tissue at all, and he just brings it up. So I'm going to read what he says. He said, much more to say about this in a review or an essay form, but suffice to say, another audacious film from Glazer, and an interesting companion to Under the Skin in its reflection of an alien capable of killing humans without consciousness. Turns out aliens have a greater capacity for change.
Read that last part again. Your mic cut out.
Really? Fuck.
Yeah.
Um, it's an interesting companion to Under the Skin in its reflection on an alien capable of killing humans without conscious. Turns out aliens have a greater capacity for change.
Oh.
I was like, whoa. The aliens changed before we. Fuck, man.
I mean, that is an interesting point to make. How ScarJo's alien was quicker to try and adapt and change and become part of humanity than
Humanity itself.
yeah. That is an interesting point.
Yeah, I absolutely had to share that. That's like one of the best little short pieces of writing I've discovered recently.
It's like that horrible saying, history repeats itself.
Yeah,
You don't learn from it, you're doomed to
yeah,
repeat the past kind of
yeah.
thing.
And before going in, I didn't realize how much paired with that and what Scott Tobias said. I didn't realize how much connective tissue both of the films were going to have, but they do. They absolutely do. And this turned out to be a disturbing yet incredibly fruitful double feature for me that I found, and I'm sure that you found too. Upon
Oh yeah. I love Glazer.
yeah, and now I just like I had never seen any of his films before this, and now I just have such a newfound, in addition to respect to him as a person and as a filmmaker, and I hope that we can get something from him sooner rather than a decade.
Yeah. Now you need to watch Sexy Beast and Birth.
I will absolutely be going to.
I think you'll love both of those.
Okay. Hell yeah. So, for our next pod, it's my pick.
Your pick.
My pick. Um, I think I'm pretty sure I know what I want to do, and that is, let's see if you've seen this real quick. It says you have not, so that's
What
good.
is it?
Cavalier,
Who made it?
Fat Fabrice Duels, Belgian. It's a French film. A few days before Christmas, traveling entertainer Mark Stevens is stuck at nightfall in a remote wood in the swampy Vagnus region of Liege when his van breaks down. An odd chap who's looking for a lost dog then leads Mark to a shuttered inn.
Huh. That sounds interesting.
Um, yeah, I've yeah, it's pretty rough from what I've heard. Um, so that is what we're going to be doing. My plan is to get a guest on for this one.
Cool.
Um, I have a very interesting idea that I will throw your way after we are done here, and but I would like to kind of do like the end of the year, like best films of the year kind of thing. Maybe
Okay.
doing a collaboration with someone.
Okay.
Um, Obviously, I'm not saying that this is going to happen, but I would. It'd be cool if this could happen. I think it would be really fun.
I'm down.
So yeah, our I would say, in December we're gonna have Cavalier, if that's how you pronounce it.
Who knows?
Um, that's gonna be what we're watching, and then after that, um, yeah, we'll see. Hopefully that collaboration can happen. And I think that'd be really fun. And yeah, as always, thank you guys for watching and listening. We will catch you guys next time.
Peace.